to be able to say to someone, I'm canceling the plans. I don't have any spoons. I'm canceling this meeting. I don't have any spoons. I'm canceling this doctor's appointment. I don't have any spoons. And that makes me feel a lot less guilty. A big part of long COVID is just feeling guilty for not being part of your life and the life that you had with people in your life.
Welcome to Health Hats, the podcast. I'm Danny Van Leeuwen, a two-legged, cisgender, old white man of privilege who knows a little bit about a lot of healthcare and a lot about very little. You'll listen and learn about what it takes to adjust to life's realities and the awesome circus of healthcare. Let's make some sense of all of this. Thank you. In our several conversations that we've had up to this point, you've been educating me. I knew what a spoonie was and that people with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome consider themselves spoonies. Now that you've introduced me to that, I can't stop thinking about it. So could you say more about it and what it means to you?
When you get this diagnosis, whether it's long COVID or chronic fatigue or anything like that, or after you've had surgery, pace yourself. Pace yourself. What does that mean, right? How do I do it? Just see how you feel, go about your day. Doesn't make any sense to me. And I was fighting long COVID so hard. I can push through it. I just need to get my work done. I own my own business. So there was a lot of pressure. And then the spoon thing, through a variety of happenstances, just started to click with me. It's a system that was designed by a woman, I can't remember her name,
Fact check, Christine Miserandino.
who had chronic pain. And she was in a diner and was trying to describe to a friend of hers what it feels like to live with chronic pain. And she was in a diner and could grab the closest thing around her. So she grabbed a fistful of spoons. Anybody with a disease like this has a number of spoons that they start the day with. For most people, it's 12. For people who don't have something like this, you have an unlimited number of spoons. You get tired, you don't get fatigue. They're different things. And so if you have 12 spoons, how am I going to spend them at the beginning of the day? You've got a constant bank account or spoon account with a budget. If I have to do chores around the house, it's 2 spoons or 4 spoons. Driving somewhere can be 2 spoons. Doing a conference call can be 2 spoons. I have some conference calls that feel like 4 spoons. When you run out, you're just done. Which means that you can see how very quickly taking a shower costs 2 spoons. There's a surprising amount of physical exertion that goes into taking a shower. And then I personally have difficulty regulating my body temperature. So there's like a recovery period from taking a shower. I like to spend time in the garden, which sometimes is heavy physical work, but it's offset by something you really enjoy. So if it were a workout, which I haven't done in 3 years, a proper workout, it would be 4 spoons. But because I enjoy it and I casually pull some weeds here and I do a little snip there, for me, it costs me only 2 spoons. The skill in it, if you will, is you can search the internet and say, taking your pills costs 1 spoon. Taking your kids to school costs X number of spoons. But the wisdom of it really is to figure out, okay, this counts as this many spoons for me. The other thing is that they'll say, the template, if you will, says driving will cost you X number of spoons. But I live about 70 miles outside of Washington in the Shenandoah Valley. So any drive I take is gorgeous. So that doesn't cost me any spoons. Where it gets tricky is figuring out how you individually start the day with how many spoons, because there's no other way to know than if somebody gives you a budget at this point. A friend of mine is not doing very well at all, and she says, I have about 5 spoons at the beginning of the day, but other people will have 15 or 16. And there's, with all of the apps and Apple Watches and things that we have in our lives now, and there are some apps that are starting to work on it to individualize what your budget is at the beginning of the day. And so that's a big
Yeah.
hole in the system, is how many spoons you begin.
When I know people are in a recovery mode from whatever, I say to them, do 1 degree less than you think you can. Spoons is different. Are there days where, oh my God, maybe today I have one more spoon? No, it's it stays pretty steady.
That's the problem, where it's like I don't have any external thing telling me how, because every day is different, right? You have good days, you have bad days, as the saying goes. And on good days, you might have more spoons, but you don't want to spend so many spoons that you end up the next day
Oh.
with fewer spoons.
So it runs over.
Yeah. And I would say that saying do 1% less or X percent or 5% means you have to know what 100% is like, and
Okay.
you don't.
Okay.
The other thing I will say about counting spoons, the woman who developed the system did it because she was trying to communicate with a friend. And it's very helpful to be able to say to someone, I'm canceling the plans. I don't have any spoons. I'm canceling this meeting. I don't have any spoons. I'm canceling this doctor's appointment. I don't have any spoons. And that makes me feel a lot less guilty. A big part of long COVID is just feeling guilty for not being part of your life and the life that you had with people in your life. So being able to communicate why you're ghosting everybody, as the kids say, is great. But as you can tell, it takes quite a while to initiate someone into this language of spoons. So you can't do it with business people, that you can't do it that way. You can't explain to somebody who's your client or your boss, this is why I'm not doing my work today. They're not going to be cool.
I host, write, and produce Health Hats the podcast with assistance from Kayla Nelson and Leon and Oscar Van Leeuwen. Music from Joey Van Leeuwen. I play Barry sax on some episodes alone or with the Lechuga Fresca Latin Band. I buy my hats at Selma Gundy, Boston, and my coffee from the Jennifer Stone Collective. Links in the show notes. I'm grateful to you who have the critical roles as listeners, readers, and watchers. Subscribe and contribute. If you like it,